Hello friends and welcome. Okay, so in the last video we pulled the top end of the engine off, the cylinder, and before we pulled the cylinder off I took the head off and we were able to really rock the piston back and forth on it. This is the piston that I took out of it here. I mean, I'm not putting it in the right way, but it really rocks a lot. So I was lucky and I found the piston in my stash of Gravely parts. So this piston here, I am putting it in upside down, but just to show you, it's nowhere near as bad as that other piston was. Now the only problem was this piston here had oversized rings in it, so I couldn't I thought maybe the rings would be good for this, but I couldn't squeeze the ring in there. And then I turned the cylinder upside down and I stuck the ring. I took the ring off the top and I stuck it in the, I stuck it in this way, the way you're supposed to. And I couldn't squeeze the ring enough to get the piston back down in there. And then, like I said, after I took the top ring off, I could see that it was just no way. It was the ring was almost overlapping the other side. So I don't know if this is I can't see any markings on here. I think I see something there. I'm not really sure what kind of marking that is. So we're definitely going to go with this piston. So what I did was I took a ring off the old piston just to see how it would fit in here. And I'm able to, I know those rings are shot. I'm able to stick the piston in there all the way. And of course it's going to rock a little. It's rocking a little bit. Not like the old piston was, but it's rocking a little bit. So I bought the caliper tool at Harbor Freight. So far I have a 3.24 reading. After the 3 point, it should be 3 decimals, but it's only 2. So I'll just judge it to the best of what I can do here as far as that goes. But as you saw in the last video, which I'll leave a link to that video in the description. That would be the last video that I did on this. I do want to take the valves out and lap them too. But the first thing we're going to do is, let me go get the hone. What I want to do is hone the cylinder out and clean it out real good, and then I'll take another reading. I don't think it will make much of a difference on the reading, but let's see if I can show you in here that this is shiny all the way down in here. And another thing too, I thought there would be some gouges in there because I noticed the piston was scraping in there from the piston, hitting the wall, but it didn't do any damage to the cylinder itself. Alright, so I'm going to get it set up outside. I'll show you how to hone the cylinder out. I think what we'll be using this time is I'll use some penetrating oil. You want to always oil up the inside of the piston. Also oil up your stones here. Last time when we did the 73 Gravely, I think I used gasoline, but you use gas, oil, or penetrating oil. Works good too. And that's what we'll do today. We'll use penetrating oil since gas is, I don't know, it came down some, the price, but I'll get set up and we'll get right on that. Okay, so I sprayed the cylinder down real good and the stones on the hone. think you can see okay? I might be in your way a little. Just keep it moving all the time. These stones might be a little lightweight for this. I'm not really sure if it's. Seems like the stone is coming apart. Can anybody guess where I bought this? The honer? Yeah, this stone is just disintegrating in there. I don't even know if it's going to do any good. Maybe. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the cylinder out real good. See where we stand with that. And I'll just do it off camera. I'll hone it out some more. See if we can get any kind of anything done to the cylinder here. Okay, so it's another piece of shit from Harbor Freight, but it's the best I can get it. I worked on it a little longer. And that stone is just disintegrating. Alright. Okay, so the piston we're using, this is one of the rings off it. If you look down here, where it comes together, it's supposed to be a gap in there. This one's actually overlapping. The piston, the original piston we took out, I showed you it had scrapes on it. And I know I changed the cylinder. When I put the tractor together, I changed the cylinder, but not the piston and rings. But as I showed you before, I stuck an old ring on the piston to make sure the piston goes up and down pretty good. I didn't measure the piston or anything, but we're going to try it like that. Now the biggest problem that we have is this. It's a 3-inch bore, so you're going to get a 3-point whatever numbers. Okay, so what we're getting is a 3.25. So the problem here is the other two numbers at the end. This caliper tool doesn't show it, and it should be pretty critical to the size of the rings. Yeah, so that's going to be a problem. So this, I think this is 3.45. The standard rings. It's like halfway to 26. So if you go to 5 thousandths over here, we're gonna end up with, let's see, where is it? Should have wrote this down with a marker. Alright, so the 0.05 rings, which is the next step up from the standard, you're gonna get a 3.2585, which is almost 26, because the top number here is 95. I don't know, I'm trying to explain it the best I could here, but a little bit more and then it'll end up being a 26. So if you go to 10 thousandths over, it starts out as a 26, but we're measuring a 25. Okay, so I was arguing with myself whether to get 0.5 over, because you could always file the opening of the ring, so if it's in there to whatever thousandths, you measure it with a feeler gauge. You could either do it that way, which I don't feel like filing. The problem is this: if the rings were like $15 a set, I would get the standard and the 5,000s over, but they're $35 a set, and I don't know if that's Richard's old price. I'm not really sure if he upgraded the price, updated it rather, so I'm not sure. So I think I'm just going to go with the standard rings. All right, so I think the biggest problem here before is it had worn rings, and the old piston was scraping in there, and it wasn't round anymore. You could really shake the piston in there. This piston without the ring on it, because I stuck the old ring on there to make sure I could just at least get the piston in here, doesn't shake nowhere. It doesn't shake like it did. It's just a very little bit of movement there. So I think we're just going to go with the standard rings on it. I hope that made sense to you. Okay, so this is my homemade valve spring compressor that I made. I made it out of I think I cut either a lawn, yeah, I think it was a lawnmower blade. I just cut, and then I just cut this out in here, and then what you do is I stuck a vice grip on here, and what you do is you can press the keeper, you know, to get the keeper out. You can just compress it, compress the spring so you get the keeper out in here, and it seems to work pretty good. We used it on one of the machines, probably the 73. I had a good mind to just leave the valves alone, because I don't think there's anything really wrong with them, but I figured I'll pull one valve out, we'll take a look at the valve, and I'll clean it up real good, and then I have some valve lapping compound, and maybe I'll just show you how to do it. We'll do both sides, the intake and the exhaust. We're doing the intake right now. So alright, so I'm hoping somebody comes along that has a caliper tool to measure the inside of the cylinder, because those last two numbers are very crucial to get the right rings. But I know it'll cover like halfway to, the standard rings will cover halfway to the 26 mark. Because if we get 5,000s over, then we're going into that 26. You know, that number I showed you, the 3.25. I don't want to go into the 3.26 range. I guess it'd just be potluck. Like I said, if the rings were $15 a set, I'd get both. But it's not like that anymore. But I guess we'll just go with the standard and see what happens for now. Today's Saturday. I'm not going to order the parts till Monday, because I think Richards might be open half a day, if he's open at all. Okay, so the madness didn't just end there with this. As you saw before, like I showed you the blade here, and then I have this piece. It was some kind of bracket or something. And I just bolted to the this is where the jug goes down, gets bolted to the bottom part of the engine. So I got that on there good. I used a wrench in here for leverage, for when you push this down. And then I just stuck this in the vise. Don't go crazy tightening that, because you'll crack the manifold. And I put this block under here. And then I put another piece of wood in here, because what you want to do is hold the valve from falling out. And then what you do is you just squeeze the valve down, the cap there, and then just take the keeper out, and you're done. So I'll pull the valve out right now. We'll see what it looks like. Oh, another thing too, incidentally, when you clean out the grooves where the new rings are going to go in, what I do is I just snap a piece of old ring, just snap that off, and then you could clean the where the ring goes in to the piston. You could clean that out real good with a broken ring, or you could use a small screwdriver too, don't matter, but I like using a broken ring. Alright, so I cleaned the valve real good. It cleaned up real nice. You know, this is a little bit of a waste of time. I put a little bit of valve compound on the edge here, and then you're just going to take your drill here use a rag and press on the bit too. I mean on the valve. Nah, it's not working out. Try to get your hose on as good as you can. I can't get a clamp on here because it's got that spring. Remember I showed you the cup where you could adjust the valves? You just lift that cup and the spring up. And I don't want to fool with that, really. Hey, keep doing it till it feels smooth. Otherwise, I put a clamp on the hose, but I can't really get her to do that. And just go forward and reverse with the drill. Keep doing that, and then you'll feel that it's smooth. The important thing is, when you take the valve back out, make sure you clean all that compound out of everything. Valve guide, the valve, everything. Because you don't want that getting into the valve guide, the compound. Alright, so I gotta fight and curse while I'm doing this, so I'm gonna take you off camera right now. And you just keep doing that until it feels smooth and you're done. Okay, I was able to get a clamp on the hose, you know, onto the valve here. I was able to get a clamp on there because I was worried about destroying the spring, but it was out of the way of the spring, so I got it done. So it came out pretty good. I flushed everything out real good with brake clean. Cleaned it up real good, wiped it with a rag and everything. And this is the valve here. It came out really good. I think this top end must have had a valve job done already to it. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. And I'll do it off camera. I think we'll end this video here. I have to order a base gasket for the jug. We'll order a head gasket. I think Richard has the bolts, so I'll just let him send me the bolts and everything. And whatever else I have written down inside. I wrote down a list of what I need so far. And if there's anything else, I'll come back to you. But we're just getting ready to put it back together. I might come back to you, because I have to pull the tarp off. I wanted to make sure the oil leak's gone. Okay, so I was finally able to read the piston here. It's got a standard piston, but somebody put oversized rings on the piston when it was in some other engine. This is the piston that I saved that we're going to be using on this. As far as the exhaust valve went, it was all just crusted from oil, carbon, you know, and oil and everything. So I cleaned everything out really good in there where they got valve guide. I cleaned that out really good, and I lapped the valve, and the valve seemed to be okay, just like the other one was, but like I said, it was just all crustated with oil, carbon. So that's about it on this. This is ready. All I have to do is I have to take the piston out, take that ring off that we threw on there, just to make sure it fit the cylinder good. And I'll clean out the grooves where the rings go in. Like I said, I'll use this the old ring. I just knocked one in half. I have to do that. I have to clean the head yet. Oil leak. I took the cover off today. The axle seals dry. dry as a bone. The other side dry. So I think after we change this, when I put the crush washer on the drain plug bolt, I think that fixed it. I hope it did. So, well, it's been days now since I did that, so I think we'll be all right with that. I made sure this has a lock nut on it, and then you turn this. The newer tractors, you just turn this. There's no lock nut that I know of. You just get in there because it's got valve covers. You just get in there and turn this bolt either out to close the valve, or just like you're screwing a bolt, and then you would just bolt this in until you have the right amount of clearance with the feeler gauge. So I guess that's going to be it. That's all we're going to do for today in this video. I don't know how long this video is going to be now, but yeah, so instead of buying a valve spring compressor, I just made my own. I mean, I got the other side off. The thing I forgot is how I used to chalk it up so the jug wouldn't move, but I figured it out. I used boards. You know, this year I never saw wind in my life like this. It's getting to the point where it's going to be really hard to work. You know, the wind's unbelievable. It's crazy. I'm still trying to make room in here. I'm throwing a lot of crap out, like lawnmower stuff and stuff that I'll never use again. I want to try to make a work area in here to work on stuff in here, as long as it's going to be windy like that out there. The only problem with this place is it gets so hot in the summer, and cold in the winter. I don't mind that. I have a radiator heater I could use. What I did for a while, I was working in here, and I just put a partition up over here with a tarp. It was down. It was warming up this section really good here, but I had a lot more room then. You know, I really don't have room to do anything here. All right, that's enough babbling. I'll see you all on the next one. I'm going to order the parts. I think I'm going to go with the standard rings. I think I'll do that. But see how that works out. Alright, thanks for watching. And I'll see you all on the next one. And take care.